Living with less is more than just a minimalist trend. It's a transformative journey that reshapes how we see ourselves, our relationships, and the world around us. When I first began to pare down my possessions and commitments, it was out of necessity. Life felt overwhelming, and I was searching for clarity in the chaos. What I discovered along the way was not just a cleaner closet or a tidier home, but a profound shift in mindset and a renewed sense of purpose. At first, the process was daunting. The idea of letting go, of clothes I hadn't worn in years, books I swore I'd read again, and sentimental trinkets from every chapter of my life, felt like erasing pieces of my identity. But as I started to sort through my belongings, I realized that so much of what I owned was tied to outdated versions of myself, or to aspirations that no longer fit who I was becoming. Each item I released was a small act of self-discovery, a gentle nudge to focus on the present rather than clinging to the past or worrying about the future. One of the first lessons I learned was the difference between want and need. In a world that constantly encourages us to buy more, consume more, and do more, it's easy to blur the lines between what's essential and what's simply marketed as such. By intentionally choosing what to keep and what to let go, I began to understand my true priorities. I found that I needed far less than I thought, both in terms of physical possessions and in the commitments I took on. This realization brought an unexpected freedom. With fewer things to manage, I had more time and mental space to devote to what genuinely mattered: meaningful relationships, personal growth, and experiences that brought me joy. Living with less also taught me to appreciate quality over quantity. When you have fewer things, each item becomes more significant. I started investing in pieces that were well-made and versatile, rather than chasing after every new trend or sale. This shift extended beyond material goods. It influenced how I spent my time and energy as well. I became more selective about the projects I took on and the people I surrounded myself with, choosing depth and authenticity over superficial connections. Another powerful lesson was learning to embrace imperfection. Minimalism is often associated with pristine, Instagram-worthy spaces, but real life is messier than that. There were days when my home was cluttered, and moments when I felt the urge to accumulate again, especially during times of stress or uncertainty. But I realized that living with less isn't about achieving a perfect aesthetic. It's about creating a life that feels aligned with my values, even if it looks different from what's popular or expected. It's about giving myself permission to let go of what doesn't serve me, and to accept that my needs and desires will evolve over time. Perhaps the most surprising lesson was how living with less deepened my connection to others. With fewer distractions, I found it easier to be present with the people around me. I learned to listen more intently, to savor shared moments, and to express gratitude for the simple joys of everyday life. Decluttering my physical space seemed to declutter my mind as well, making room for empathy, creativity, and genuine connection. Living with less also made me more conscious of my impact on the world. Each item I chose not to buy or to pass on responsibly was a small act of environmental stewardship. I became more mindful of how my choices affected not just my immediate surroundings, but the broader community and the planet. This awareness inspired me to seek out sustainable options, to repair rather than replace, and to support businesses that aligned with my values. One of the most profound shifts came in my relationship with time. When my days were no longer filled with endless to-do lists and the pursuit of more, I discovered the beauty of slowing down. I learned to find contentment in quiet moments, reading a book, enjoying a walk in nature, or simply sitting in stillness. This newfound appreciation for simplicity helped me to let go of the constant need for stimulation and achievement, and to trust that I was enough just as I was. Of course, the journey hasn't always been easy. There have been moments of doubt, nostalgia, and even regret. Letting go can be painful, especially when it means saying goodbye to dreams that didn't materialize or acknowledging mistakes from the past. But each step, however small, has brought me closer to a life that feels intentional and fulfilling. In the end, living with less isn't about deprivation, it's about abundance. It's about making space for what truly matters and finding joy in the essentials. It's about recognizing that happiness doesn't come from what we own, but from how we live, love, and connect. By simplifying my surroundings, I've been able to amplify my sense of purpose and gratitude. If you're considering a similar path, my advice is to start small. Choose one area of your life, maybe a drawer, a shelf, or a calendar, and ask yourself what you could let go of. Pay attention to how it feels, and be gentle with yourself through the process. Remember that living with less is not a destination, but an ongoing journey of self-discovery and growth. What I've learned is that less truly can be more. With each thing I released, I gained something far greater: clarity, peace, and a deeper appreciation for the present moment. Living with less has taught me to savor what I have, to cherish who I am, and to trust that I am always enough. And in that simplicity, I've found a richness that no amount of possessions could ever provide. Decluttering your home isn't just about tidying up. It's about creating a space that reflects your values, supports your well-being, and brings you peace of mind. Embarking on a minimalist challenge is more than a trend. It's a transformative journey that can reshape your relationship with your possessions and, ultimately, with yourself. The process might seem daunting at first, especially if you've accumulated years' worth of belongings. But with a clear vision and a step-by-step approach, you can reclaim your space, simplify your life, and discover the freedom that comes with living with less. The first step in any decluttering journey is setting your intention. Ask yourself, why do you want to declutter? Is it to reduce stress, save time, or create a more inviting home? Maybe you want to spend less time cleaning, or perhaps you crave a space that inspires creativity and calm. Whatever your reasons, take a moment to reflect and write them down. This intention will serve as your guiding light when the process feels overwhelming, or when you're faced with tough decisions about what to keep and what to let go. Begin your minimalist challenge by choosing a starting point. It's tempting to tackle everything at once, but focusing on one area at a time can help you build momentum and avoid burnout. The easiest place to start is often a small, contained space, like a single drawer, a closet, or a bathroom cabinet. As you sort through your belongings, ask yourself whether each item serves a purpose or brings you joy. If it doesn't, consider letting it go. Sorting is an essential part of the decluttering process. Create 3 categories: keep, donate, or sell, and discard. The keep pile should be reserved for items you use regularly or that genuinely add value to your life. The donate or sell pile is for things in good condition that could benefit someone else. The discard pile is for items that are broken, worn out, or no longer usable. As you work through each item, be honest with yourself. Sentimental attachments can make it hard to let go, but remember that memories reside in your heart, not in objects. As you move from room to room, you'll likely encounter items that you haven't used in months or even years. Clothes that no longer fit, kitchen gadgets gathering dust, books you've already read or never got around to reading. Ask yourself, if I were shopping today, would I buy this again? If the answer is no, it might be time to part ways. For sentimental items, consider keeping only the most meaningful pieces and finding creative ways to honor them, such as displaying a few cherished photographs instead of storing boxes of old memorabilia. Decluttering is not just a physical act, it's an emotional journey. You may feel a mix of relief, nostalgia, and even guilt as you let go of possessions. Give yourself grace and remember that you're making space for new experiences and opportunities. Celebrate each small victory, whether it's an organized shelf or a bag of donations ready to go. These steps, however small, are significant milestones on your path to a simpler, more intentional life. Minimalism isn't about living with nothing, it's about living with enough. It's about curating your space so that every object serves a purpose or brings you happiness. As you pare down your belongings, you'll likely notice a shift not just in your environment, but in your mindset. You may find yourself appreciating the things you do have more deeply and feeling less burdened by the weight of excess. Once you've decluttered, it's important to establish habits that support your minimalist lifestyle. One effective strategy is the one in, one out rule. For every new item you bring into your home, let go of something else. This helps prevent clutter from accumulating again and encourages mindful consumption. Before making a new purchase, pause and ask yourself if it truly adds value to your life. Organization is the next step after decluttering. With fewer items, it's easier to find a place for everything. Store like items together, use containers or baskets to keep things tidy, and label where necessary. Open spaces and clear surfaces can make your home feel larger and more inviting. You might find that you have more room to breathe, move, and relax. Decluttering can also have a positive impact on your mental health. A tidy, organized space can reduce stress, improve focus, and promote a sense of calm. You may find yourself sleeping better, feeling more productive, and enjoying your home more fully. The process can even inspire you to simplify other areas of your life, such as your schedule, your digital devices, or your relationships. As you continue your minimalist challenge, remember that it's a personal journey. There's no one-size-fits-all approach, and your version of minimalism might look different from someone else's. The goal is not perfection, but progress. Give yourself permission to go at your own pace and revisit areas as needed. Over time, you'll develop a deeper understanding of what truly matters to you. Sharing your decluttering journey with others can be a source of motivation and accountability. Whether you invite a friend to join you, share your progress online, or simply talk about your experience with loved ones, you may inspire others to embark on their own journey towards simplicity. In the end, decluttering your home is about more than just getting rid of stuff. It's about making room for the life you want to live. It's about creating a sanctuary that nurtures you, reflects your values, and supports your goals. By embracing minimalism, you open the door to greater clarity, freedom, and joy. So, as you stand in your newly decluttered space, take a moment to appreciate the transformation. Notice how the energy flows, how your mind feels lighter, and how your home now serves as a foundation for the life you want to build. The Minimalist Challenge is not a destination, but a journey, one that invites you to live with intention, gratitude, and purpose every day.